Have you heard? Oh, maybe we'll do something different this week.
The Truck Show. We're gonna show you what we know. We're gonna answer what the truck, 'cause truck rhymes with the Truck Show. We have the lifted, we have the lowered, and everything in between. We'll talk about trucks that run on diesel, electricity, and on gasoline. The Truck Show, the Truck Show, the Truck Show. Oh, oh.
It's the Truck Show with your host, Holman.
What's up, everybody? Normally this is our Have You Heard episode, but I wanted to do something a little bit different this week, and that's to spotlight a couple of my local friends who are in the automotive industry, and they've been putting on one of the nation's premier car cruises over the past few years since COVID, so we'll talk about that, talk about their successes, and really wanted to help them promote an awesome first-year show that is happening right here in the Truck Show podcast hometown of Huntington Beach, California. In fact, both these guys live here, so they're my homies, my neighbors. So while there's a lot of news to get to, including the triumphant return of the Hemi, with production kicking off in Dundee, Michigan in August, I think we will save that discussion for next week. So before we get to our interview, we have to thank the people who make the show possible. This episode of the Truck Show podcast, Have You Heard, is proudly presented by Nissan. Nissan has the right truck or family hauler for your needs, along with legendary Nissan durability. Test drive a Frontier or Armada at a local dealer today, or point your browser to nissanusa.com, where you can use the build and price tool to configure a Nissan that fits your lifestyle. AMSOIL launched the industry's first synthetic motor oil back in 1972, and AMSOIL continues to innovate with a wide selection of synthetics that are formulated, blended, and packaged right here in the United States. These specialized lubricants are engineered for what you drive and how you drive. AMSOIL's Shop by Vehicle tool offers package size recommendations to maximize savings and includes AMSOIL's Ultimate Oil Change Kits. AMSOIL offers the protection you demand and the performance you deserve. Get yours today at AMSOIL.com. The perfect complement to your truck is a Kershaw knife. All Kershaw knives come with a limited lifetime warranty, and repair parts are readily available through the website. Kershaw knives include lifetime sharpening, and the lineup has everything from EDC knives that can be used and abused for under $50, all the way up to high-end collectibles. Thanks to our generous partnership with Kershaw Knives, Truck Show podcast listeners can get 40% off MSRP and free shipping over $50 by using the code 25TSP40 at checkout. It can be used more than once and even includes automatics. Visit kershaw.kaiusa.com today. When it comes to amazing vehicle-based adventure content, how-tos, and great storytelling, only one brand is doing it right in the print magazine space, and that's OVR, Outdoor Vehicle Recreation. OVR is about getting out there in our vehicles to explore and discover the world around us. Get complimentary access for a year to the digital library or a discount on your print subscription today at OVRmag.com. Use the promotional code at Truck Show Podcast. So here we are in the pod shed, and since we're not doing news this week,
I don't watch the news because I'm a kid.
I don't think the kids are going to care too much. All right, how about we get into the interview with Jason Scudellari and Patrick Wagenbrenner. All right, so I invited two of my friends to the pod shed. You guys probably know their work. You may not know them, or you might know. Did you just drink a Monster on... We just said this, Patrick. We said, we're going live. We're pushing the red button. What'd you do? You crinkled the Monster in your hand with the mic's live.
Very, very sensitive mic.
This is why we can't have nice things.
No more nice things.
All right. Can I get back to my intro here?
Can't wait.
Okay.
Pins and needles.
Anyway, you guys may know them from such awesome, online content, the Cruise and PCH, right? And the COVID, basically the quarantine cruise, which started during COVID, that was sort of your brainchild. These are my two boys from Huntington Beach, which is where we hail from in the pod shed. So got Patrick Wagenbrenner and Jason Scudellari. So Patrick's been in the industry forever. I mean, he's worked for 400 companies doing different marketing things, whatever. Jason used to build all the project vehicles at Motor Trend back out of our Santa Ana and Irvine offices back in the day, and now he owns a shop here in Huntington Beach.
Yes, sir.
HP Hot Rods, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Well, thank you for having us.
Well, I know you guys have a big event coming up this weekend, so we're doing a little bit out of the norm. Normally we do Mondays like the long form big interviews, and then Thursdays are like the short, hey, here's the newsy stuff. But I wanted to get you guys in because I want to support my hometown and I want to support my homies with what you guys are doing. And that's, is it Hot Rods and Helos? Is that what it is?
Hot Rods and Helos. This is huge, Sean. We're incredibly pumped because we've been doing the cruise and PCH, and we started during the...
With a Q.
Q. We are the Q. And, it's funny because people still know it as a quarantine cruise. We try to rebrand it, talk about cruise and PCH.
Yeah.
It's just the quarantine cruise.
But did you like how I said the right thing?
You did.
Okay.
You did.
All right, hold on. We got to play an intro because every guest gets an intro, so here we go.
Where is that? I've got 4 chrome rims and a steering wheel. Where is that? I've got 4 chrome rims and a steering wheel. Where is that? I've got 4 chrome rims and a steering wheel.
So, of course, if you've gone to truckshowpodcast.com to our events tab, you would see that your event is up there. But why don't you tell us where it's at, what it is? And it's 2 things I love. I love cars. I love aviation. You guys are mixing them up right there on the beach. Let's get into it.
We've been doing the cruise for about 5 years or so, a little over 5 years. We just hit our 5th anniversary.
What do you mean for about 5 years? We just did a 5-year anniversary
just did the 5-year
this past
anniversary.
Sunday.
So it has been 5 years. Exactly.
It's been 5 years to the hour. And we have been able to build this community collectively of thousands and thousands of cars.
From all over SoCal. And even out of state.
Arizona, Nevada, Northern California. They come from all over the place. We've had people, Germany.
Yep.
We've had guys come in
Seattle.
from Germany, Seattle, Florida. People have come in from everywhere. And a few months ago, the Huntington Beach Police Officers Association, the 42 Foundation, here locally in
By the
Huntington
way,
Beach.
42 in Orange County, where we're at, every station has a different number. So Huntington Beach, the city of Huntington Beach is known as Station 42. So that way, if they're on a county-wide system, so that's where the 42 Foundation comes from.
Exactly. And their team wanted to do something unique because hot rods, and we talk about hot rods, and this is hot rods, classic cars, classic trucks. This is, old cars. And with the cruise and the community that we've built over time, there's been so many people that have talked to us and said, when are you guys going to do a car show? When are we going to do something bigger? When's there going to be, an annual event? And the stars aligned when the HB POA, the 42 Foundation, reached out and said, hey, you know what? We want to do this event on the beach.
They said, listen, we have given your guys so many tickets, we want you to help us get off the road.
And we thought, maybe since we're sending hundreds, sometimes thousands of cars down PCH through Huntington Beach on the 3rd Sunday of every month, that, if we endear ourselves to them.
They will be nicer, more lenient.
People will have an opportunity to enjoy their drive with a little bit more freedom.
Sure.
But there's such a car culture here. There's such an atmosphere.
Well, people don't realize, so Huntington Beach was the home for the longest time of Boeing, and we're right next to the Seal Beach Naval Weapons Center. So we have military presence, we have aerospace presence, and because of Boeing, because of the engineers, because of the space, basically during the 60s space race, pieces of Saturn V and all those things were built right here in Huntington Beach. And the beauty of that is a lot of those engineers that were classically trained as aerospace engineers ended up going and starting hot rod shops and things like that. And there's a couple streets down kind of off of Gothard, if you're familiar with the area, or also kind of Bolsa Chica and McFadden, Edinger, up in that area. There's some industrial space, and those are like these hotbed of Huntington Beach shops. You can look at Foos is here, the Camberg, you've got Reese Millen. There's a ton of builders and, art car, chassis, transmissions, engine builders, upholstery, on and on and on. And this is just like this epicenter in SoCal of the automotive aftermarket culture right here in Huntington Beach.
Well, and Lanzini.
Yeah.
Lanzini's here. They filmed, if anybody ever watched Overhauling, all those guys, Bill Dunn and Lanzini and Chip Foose.
They're all right here.
They're all within, a stone's throw of each other.
Yeah.
And Chip is our Grand Marshal for this event, Hot Rods and Helos.
Nice.
And it's a 2-day event, with Saturday being the helicopter fly-in with the helicopter fly-in party, which I believe we're up to 13.
Okay.
12 or 13.
12 or 13 helicopters.
Nice.
That are going to land basically in the parking lot on PCH, right across from the Hyatt Hilton lot right there at the Hyatt Bridge. And they're going to have a big celebration of flying. I think Mark is going to come in with the HBPD helicopter themselves, and he actually comes in first, and he blows off
all the sand and everything. Out the parking lot?
He spends his first time, and he's the first helicopter in, and he actually cleans that entire parking lot up and down PCH.
I want to say one thing really quick. We just got our new Huntington Beach helicopters. These are 530Ns, tail rotor. We used to have NOTARs. Our new livery is awesome. It's like this gray, flat gray with like the red rotor cap on it, and they're really cool. The old one was, this blue and white, but got to mention Officer Vela, who tragically passed away a couple years ago when HB1, which is the name of our police helicopter, went down assisting Newport Beach. And a lot of us knew the pilot, which I won't bring up his name, and also Officer Vela. The pilot's big in the car culture here, and Officer Vela was the observer, and they went down in the bay in Newport. And so that was a tragedy. But when the police department's involved with the Aero unit, a good friend of mine, Doug Tallman, was the sergeant there for a number of years. Got a lot of friends in HBPD, so I just want to do a little moment to recognize HBPD for what they do and the Aero unit. One of the only Aero units in Southern California, one of the very first ones. They were flying Hughes helicopters back in, I think, the late 50s or early 60s, and they were one of the pioneers. And still today, as other cities have dropped their Aero units, Huntington Beach still has theirs, and actually has contracts to assist neighboring cities and all that. So just shout out to HBPD, especially HB1. And anyway.
No, I mean, I watch the helicopters take off every single day. They are literally on the other side of Gothard from my shop, so I get to see that every day, hear them come in, leave, come back. So it's kind of cool. But we have been very fortunate to partner up with HBPD for this event, and wow.
Speaking about over to your shop, we had a chance to go over to their heliport where they had off Gothard, and we went over there, and
they've got a crazy hangar. They do all their own maintenance and everything there. It's a pretty capable place. And
have you been over there?
Yeah.
Have you seen it? It's behind the fire station off Gothard.
Yeah,
and you don't realize it. There's a huge. That's where the hangar is.
Yep.
They actually have fundraisers there as well. And Jason rolled in his Ford, his subtle NASCAR sounding Ford truck that he rolled in there. We were able to shoot the helicopter with HB1 and with a bunch of hot rods around it in promotion for the show. So it was
awesome.
It was cool being right there as they're coming.
I'm hoping
going.
my '67 F100 gets around there at some point. I'm reclaiming it. It'll be home soon, and once I finish acquiring the pennies from my couches to go see Jason, it's going to your shop, and I'm gonna have you finish that thing for me because it needs to get back on the road. I want to be able to take my stuff down and be able to do that stuff with you guys, and it's been stillborn for 6 or 7 years now.
Well, I believe you got yours before me.
Yeah, I think right before, yeah.
Yep. So you've had yours, and it's been in the tech center when we were at Motor Trend.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got to get that thing up and going.
Dude, it's far enough. Like right now, the chassis is wired. It's got a full painless kit on it. It's got an EcoBoost sitting in it. It's got Crown Vic front clip on it. All the bodywork's on it. It's all painted. TMI did the interior on it. Just need to finish up the suspension, get the fuel tank plumbed, and get the engine wired up. And the big thing is, when we were at the magazine, it ended up getting an automatic, which is not what I wanted, but it was a company that wanted to have they made a way of a crate engine talking to an auto. But if you know Ford crate engines, Ford makes them for manuals.
Yeah.
And so I've got a few friends either at, Silver Sport or American Powertrain. What I want to do is my cab is a manual cab, so I've got the pedal hangers and stuff. The biggest thing is get that thing wired. I want to take that auto out of there, put a T5 or whatever manual in there, make it right. And with an EcoBoost and a manual, that thing should just be stupid. And the reason it has an EcoBoost is because I want to piss people off.
Yep. Why not? I mean,
you got to get that and bring it down to the cruise. It's going to be. There's so many trucks.
It's a really expensive paperweight right now. So
it's what's really cool about, and we've seen that crossover with hot rods and helos, is that the truck community. When you talk about trucks, we have anywhere from 30 to 40 K5s coming in.
I bet you probably have Broncos.
The Bronco crowd, the C10.
C10 crowd. And it's funny because we've talked about it on the show, but it's like all the muscle cars kind of dried up, right? Like you may hear of a barn find, but really for the average person, a 67 Camaro or, a 65, 66 Mustang, they're out of your price range. They're gone or they're roached or whatever. So everybody kind of moved over. C10s really took that torch first. And the Fords weren't super popular until people kind of got into the bump sides like mine that are the short wides, right? So that's still Ford and Chevy overlaid that 67 to 72 year range. So they're really natural competitors to each other. And now those are really starting to dry up. And now you're starting to see dent sides, 70 OBS square bodies, and then kind of the early Mopars are starting to come on now. And all of a sudden, car shows went from being a sea of C10s with a few Fords sprinkled in to being C10s and F100s with sort of like this weird amalgamation of, oh, we've got some early 70s to like mid 80s stuff kind of popping up now. And we've got some old Dodge Swept-side stuff popping up now. And it's like the muscle cars are basically gone. You know, as soon as the Mopar muscle cars took off, everybody went to the trucks. And that's why I want to finish my truck and not get rid of it, because I'm probably never going to get one again. I put so much work into that thing.
Well, the thing is, I mean, especially when I did the bump side or started my 60 or my 69, you know, the aftermarket out there
was
sheet
nothing
metal wise,
right
there was
then.
nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, you had and what 80% of those trucks were long beds because
Yeah.
they're work trucks.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to get a short bed, but now you can go buy
Yeah.
bedsides now for
Do
those.
you remember like the floor kits that they had with the ribs didn't match the factory floor? So you could buy it and the patch panel didn't even work. I had this little guy out by the Laverne Airport, like Mexican metal craftsman. My bed was roached from being used. It was wavy. It had hail damage. He literally, over the course of a week, pounded every single one of those out, and that bed looked like brand new when he was done with
crazy.
it. I mean, it's unbelievable. So, I mean, when we got our trucks, the aftermarket, the Crown Vic swaps were kind of really novel at that time, and now people are making full chassis and all that. And
Yep.
it's well. I just want to get mine done because I want to be able to cruise with you guys, and that truck deserves to be out in the world.
Well, between AMD and Brothers and OPG, I mean, you pretty much can just go through the catalog and order a truck.
Well, all that stuff's like on mine is done. It's just I need to get it running now. You know, like all the body work's done. Teresa painted it. There's a couple. It needs to be color sanded again, and needs to have a couple touch ups just because it's been sitting in a warehouse with things probably bumping into it and stuff like that for years, and need to get the suspension done. But it's not that far. Like it's probably 2 or 3 months of like putting some work into it to getting it back in the world and getting it fired. And I don't need to do a radio right now. I don't need to do HVAC right now. I just want to get it running, and then we can go, circle back and get that other stuff done later.
Yeah.
Now, I know you don't have a truck. Are you going to come down this weekend? Or now it's the 29th
That's not
and 30th.
true. I do have a truck.
Well, you don't have
It doesn't
that.
run.
You don't have that truck. You got to tow it down. It's the 29th and 30th, as we said. It's a 2-day event. Speaking of which,
Yes.
Overland Expo, you guys had a big footprint. What was your takeaway from Overland Expo?
Amazing. But here's what I'll say this because I'm a little bit bitter. It's a little bit sweet. That was basically my event and my brainchild because we launched that back in 2020 as Four Wheelers Overland Adventure Expo.
I was there.
And that was the week COVID shut everything down. And ours was the very last event. And we had to put up hand sanitizer and all that. We had about 10,000 people come through, so it was lighter. I tried, when I was at Motor Trend, to revive that event 2 or 3 times and was told, no, the first event was big enough, we're not investing in it. And I said it wasn't big enough because of COVID. And so going there, and the person who put it together was a partner of ours when we did it back then. So I'm not speaking out of turn. Like this was something that I had wanted to do at OC for a really long time. So a little bit bittersweet because I felt vindicated walking in there. It was amazing success. It was crowded like crazy. The parking lot was filled with Overlanders, but a little bit bitter because I had nothing to do with it. And so it's kind of like, like I was glad to see somebody picked it up and made it successful because that was a great event.
It was absolutely enormous. Saturday
Killed
was
Sand Sports Expo, in my opinion.
Saturday was wall-to-wall people.
Yep.
And to your point, we were there. They've called it the first annual. And it was part of that group. I mean, the foundation of it was, I think it might have been one of the last events either in Orange County, California, or the country.
I think in the country because everything shut down. I want to say it was that Monday.
Yes.
It was
Well, I wouldn't say it
after
was
that.
the last event.
Well, the last overlanding event.
Oh, maybe overlanding. Because I was going to say, we started that cruise during COVID, and because of COVID,
Right.
the cruise is what it is today by far.
Yeah, for sure.
But that, I was there with my daughter, who's now 9, and we were there and just checking it out. And I remember climbing up, but her having fun climbing up into Sean's Overland Vehicle Systems tents, and those were brand new. Mm-hmm. And so it was just seeing that, it was really kind of the dawn of a new era for that.
Yeah.
And who knew the hockey stick?
Well, and you got to remember, overlanding was sort of popular. COVID blew it up just like it did with your quarantine cruise and all that, and cruising PCH. If it weren't for COVID, none of that would have happened. So that's maybe one of the silver linings to COVID. I'm not going to say I'm thankful for it, but the fact that, we had, community and businesses and stuff grow out of it is good. OVR probably wouldn't be here today if it weren't for going through that. And I'm glad that, again, that event really took off this weekend.
And Jason and I wouldn't be sitting here.
Yeah.
Because...
Well, you would, but for different reasons.
For different reasons. And it's funny because we both know you separately from completely different worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Jason from building and being a builder with Motor Trend, you and I because of racing and the business, et cetera. And it's part of the irony of the cruise and because of this community and things that we've done that so many people have met, grown together. I mean, there's been car clubs that have started around the cruise. We had 96 Bel Airs, Tri-5s, show up at our last cruise, and I think 30 of them, 25 or 30 of them are registered Hot Rods and Helos.
We got to give them a shout out. You got Bel Air Car Club and Tri-Fi Era.
Over 90
crazy.
Tri-5s the last 25 or 30 of them are coming to Hot Rods and Helos
All
together.
VIP too, by the way.
They're rolling in.
Nice.
And this, when we talk about VIP, the parking lot across the street.
Yeah, it's long
from
and
the
skinny.
But it goes on
Yeah,
forever. I mean,
miles.
It goes from State Beach, starts from the border of city,
Yep.
all the way to the RV park.
Yeah.
And we sold out, I think it was 3.5 weeks. We sold out of all the vehicle spaces. And then we had 80% of the sponsors and vendors that were all done within that first month and a half.
Well, if you guys go to Hot Rods and Helos, that's N, not and, hotrodsandhelos.com. So, again, Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 3 p.m., and spectators are free.
The car show itself is Sunday, 10 to 3.
Okay.
Saturday, 1 to 4 is the helicopter fly-in
Got
party.
it.
And I believe the fly-in also being 1 to 4 is, I think they're going to do flybys, and then they're going to each land,
Nice.
obviously at separate times. But I mean, they got everything from the Black Hawk helicopter to obviously, HBPD's helicopter.
HB1, yep.
Yep. I mean, there's some pretty unique helicopters coming, which makes it really cool.
I'm definitely going to get myself down there just because, I want to support you guys and my local community and the HB Police Officers Association. Plus, I want to see all the great cars because I know this is the Truck Show podcast, but we're all car guys, right? I mean, it's cars, it's trucks, it's whatever.
Yep.
And this is a great opportunity to. I feel like we probably don't delve into the classics as much as we probably could. So this is a great opportunity to kind of put a spotlight on our friends who dabble in the older stuff.
Well, and also, being free for the public, but we're going to have all the food vendors there. All the aftermarket vendors are going to be there. So if you're building a hot rod, looking, to shop around or even ask questions, the vendors are going to be there. But we're also going to have, 4 or 5 bars set up for the people that want to hang out on a nice sunny day, look at cars and drink.
VIP.
I mean, that sounds pretty good.
VIP hosted areas. There's catering. There's food trucks. There's bands that are going to be playing throughout the day. Chip Foose is the Grand Marshal. Chris Jacobs is coming.
I haven't seen Chris in a while.
Chris is coming down.
Nice.
We've got
He's a good dude.
Our MC is Zach Mertens from Hoonigan, if you know Zach, Mr. Zachary, and it's just going to be when you talk about truck, car, truck, helicopter, aviation,
beer.
It's really going to be. It's becoming an automotive cultural happening.
Yeah. Well, and it also peels back the onion of Huntington Beach because I think that. If you don't live here, you might not realize what a hotbed of automotive activity this is. And all of a sudden you start realizing all these companies are all from this area. And of course you have all the ones that, there's plenty of companies in the greater SoCal area, but you start to realize who calls this home. And it's pretty phenomenal. The amount of names, the talent, the people, and the quality of cars that come out of this part of the country. I mean, it's awesome.
I mean, you've been to Donut Derelict, which
Of course,
is,
yep.
They bill it as the long, and nobody owns it, nobody runs it, nobody
just
manages
is.
it. It's
People just
a
know to
thing.
show up.
And they show up I think that's where it kind of
At the
started.
Adams Donut Shop,
but
Magnolia and Adams.
At dark. I mean, it's...
And they're gone by 9 a.m.?
Oh, if you...
Vapor at 9 a.m.
By the time Ace Hardware next door
Yeah,
opens, they're gone.
done. Yeah.
9 a.m. is late.
Yeah.
9 a.m. is the last
Yeah,
three
you
or four
can't. Yeah,
lingerers.
you can't get there at 9 a.m. You better be there at 5 if you want to see the cars and meet the people.
No, if you're going there at 9 a.m., you better be going to 8
Yeah, exactly.
There's a couple
of
of guys that roll in at 7:30, and it's second seating.
Yeah.
Those are the guys that, as people are leaving, they're picking up some spots, and it's it's a couple hundred cars, but they've been doing it there. It's generational. It's 40 years, but that speaks to the culture.
Yeah.
And it almost goes to talk about how the crew started and how we kind of came across this thing is during the pandemic when there was nobody out and about, guys like Jason, there'd be car clubs.
Yeah.
Jason and a couple of friends and the Sultan car clubs from Long Beach. And
It was perfect. I'm sitting in my car. You're not going to tell me that I'm doing
Right.
anything I'm not supposed to. I'm going to go be a free American and cruise around in my car, and I'm going to see my buddies, and we're going to make this happen. And, it was funny. Like, I remember when we got shut down, I was laying on my couch in there day 2, and I'm like, I can't do this.
No.
It was like day 1 was like, oh, I'm going to take a nap, and this is going to be
Well,
weird.
you and I
quiet.
were sitting home. We
Yeah.
were sitting home from Motor Trend.
Yep.
Motor Trend's closed. We're working from home.
Working.
And I'm running I'm running the tech center for Motor Trend. So really, I'm not working. I'm not doing
Yeah.
anything other than a weekly Wednesday meeting on the phone. But me, Heck, and Big Sean were like, dude, what do we do? I don't know. Okay, well, let's all get in our separate cars because we didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Got in our separate cars. Well, let's just go to Main Street. There's not one store open on Main Street. The most eerie feeling is going up Main Street, being the only 3 cars.
Yeah.
We all park, plenty of parking, by the way, and we're sitting 10 feet apart from each other because we don't know what.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, dude, what is going on?
Yeah.
And Patrick shows up shooting reels. Actually, I don't even think he had reels yet.
it was still video on
It was just
Instagram.
video, and I just had the white truck, my wife's white truck, out for the first time.
You're 49
the 49,
Ford.
and Patrick's shooting around. And I'm like, who's this guy? I don't know. And that's kind of how it all started. And I think I said something, hey, do you want to maybe try to do this on Instagram and see if we can get a couple more cars? And Patrick goes, you mind if I join?
Boom.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny?
These guys were like, hey, and I was with a large aftermarket distributor, and I was really getting the Instagram thing up and going.
Yep.
And we were building a page that ended up being,
Massive.
2.5 million followers.
Yeah.
And we rooted this thing with Ken Johnson, and Ken is another social media guru who just knows his way around the internet, has a lot of big clients, heavy hitters, big pages, and collectively, Jason and Heck had a couple of old trucks, and they were out driving, and we would run into each other a couple of Sundays, and we needed content, right?
Right, because nothing was going on,
there
right?
was
The-
nothing.
The perfect place where they're coming to you. It's almost like, what they call UGC or user-generated
Right.
content, except you're doing it from your point of view with all the users coming to you.
Everything.
Yeah.
And so we knew, and it was kind of funny because those early few weeks or months of the time, and what Jason said, you could hear a dog bark
Yeah.
on Main Street from the end of the pier
Yeah.
all the way up.
There's nothing.
All the way up to
It was eerie.
the bike shop.
And Huntington Beach is not a small town. We have about
No.
220,000 people. We're right on the ocean. If you ever heard Surf City USA, that song's about our town. I mean, hugely known for surfing and skateboarding, automotive. I mean, we have a lot going on here. And to be in a place that has active lifestyle people, they're running, they're surfing, they're biking, all the things that happen, and you go outside and nobody is around, it's like, dude, did the zombie apocalypse come last night? Like, there was nothing. You would go down PCH and you'd be the only dude. There wouldn't be anyone at the beach. And you've just got, it's March, right? You got miles of pristine beach.
Well, it
nothing.
got so bad. So being sent home from Motor Trend, by the way, still getting paid, which is nice.
Yeah.
I couldn't go to the gym any longer. And at this point, I was going to the gym 3, 4, 5 times a week after work. Well, I couldn't go to the gym because it's closed.
Yep.
So I started running. And I remember I would run from my house down Warner, hit PCH, and I'd run through the wetlands
Yep.
and then cross over PCH and run the beach back.
Yep.
I'm running down the beach, and the cop came up to me. He's all, what are you doing? I'm all, just running. He's all, you can't be on the beach. Well, I'm just running. Beach is closed. We're not allowed to have it. COVID has shut the beach down. I
You're
wasn't
like,
allowed to
what?
run on the beach.
Yeah.
Which was
weird.
insane.
It got weird here for a while.
Yeah.
Then it only took a few weeks. Then things kind of really loosened up, at least in our little corner of the world, where people started getting out about and kind of pushing back, oh, no, this isn't right. And we kind of made a stand. And you've maybe heard a little bit of HB in the news here and there, but it's because we just got tired of it and decided we were all going to go live our lives. And what popped out of that, this crazy car show, and now full circle, you guys are, helping out the HBPOA on this great event for this weekend coming up.
It's really an honor and a privilege for us to be able to start something. And we do it because we really enjoy doing it. And it's funny, the four of us, Jason, myself, Heck, and Ken, we get there on Sunday morning. We do the cruise on the third Sunday of the month. And we kind of look at each other about 5:15, 5:30 in the morning. Joke, you think anybody's going to show up today?
Yeah.
And by 8 o'clock, there's 1,500 cars.
Yeah.
And we've done this for so long. And the only thing we've ever done was, we have some great partners with Phytech and CBP and Famous Whips and Cerakote, SoCal, and Liqui Moly. But we've never asked the people who come out for anything ever. Yeah. And so this is the first time when HBPOA asked us if we wanted to be a partner. Mm-hmm. This was the first time we tapped into that group and said, we're going to do a car show. There's going to be an entry fee. There's going to be sponsorship. There's going to be all those things. And the overwhelming response of people who said, we want to give to the community, we want to give to the police, and we want to be a part of whatever it is you're doing, we want to be on board.
Love it.
Well, we started, even at the cruise, we've had multiple people, you guys should charge for this, you should do this. And it's like, no, we didn't start this. We started this because of a situation we were put in. And the world shut down, and we wanted to get out of the house. Yeah. And you know what?
We did this for us, and you guys came along with the ride with us, right?
We would never charge. Yeah. No, this is for us and the group, and it was an escape for us. And there were many times that one of us was going to get arrested. In Long Beach or wherever our cruise ended up, because our cruise starts one place, we take the cruise, and then it ends in a second location. And every time we thought for sure we were getting arrested. Yeah. And you know what though? Huntington Beach is a little different here in Orange County than a lot of Orange County towns, which made it work.
And that's been the feature, is that a lot of people call their car shows, a cruise.
Yeah.
This is actually...
You're actually moving.
There's, imagine 1,000 people going to some place, and then, at 9 o'clock
No, this is the way it used to be. This is the way it used to be, because you just don't have this in California. We had talked a while ago. You go back into the East Coast, and you go to a car show there, and they still do parade laps through the car show. California show, you don't do that. Like, we don't move in our cars here anymore to show them off. And a car's natural state is not a parking lot. It's on the road, moving, watching the light play off of the different, design elements, the paint, catching the sun, whatever the case may be, hearing the sounds, hearing it alive. Like, that's what matters, right? And we don't do a lot of that here anymore. We just sort of park our cars in a parking lot and then pull out our lawn chairs and our cooler and sit there and BS for a while and drive home.
I grew up here in Orange County my whole life. I'm older now, and my dad used to take us in his Roadster to Angelo's, which was in Anaheim, and you would think at a period of time that it was the most illegal thing you could do, because they actually started shutting the freeway off ramps down because they banned cruising. Mm-hmm. Like, people would meet at Angelo's, which is a hamburger stand. It's still there. And they'd cruise in, hang out, and cruise around. And they shut it down. Yeah. And it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, and, that's always been a part of, the Valley. You've had spots, and you have Whittier Boulevard, and you have... So it's inherent within the culture. And to bring it full circle, PCH has always been that destination. Yeah. And
you guys can't beat the venue, right? I mean, you can't beat the venue. You're going to be right next to the ocean. You're right there. PCH is right there. You're in Huntington Beach. Weather looks like it's going to be awesome this weekend.
What else could you drink on the beach? We're gonna have.
I think everybody figures that one out on their own. Get the road cokes going.
Yeah, I've heard all kinds of these contraptions people are making.
I've got this one that says it's like a vinyl sleeve for your beer that turns it into a Dr. Pepper can.
Yep.
So maybe all that Dr. Pepper I've been drinking isn't Dr. Pepper at all.
Where can you buy mixed drinks on the beach at a car show and support the local POA?
Well, our last meeting, so I didn't, we knew we have a lot of craft beers, all local, that are bringing their...
We got Rip here, we got Four Sons, we got... Some great family-owned breweries in town.
But there's also, it's a full-stocked bar at each one of, I think, what is there, 3 or 4 or 5 separate bars in the car show. But they got full mixed drinks, from the vodka to the gin to the whiskey. It's all there.
Sounds like my pod shed.
It's that kind of coziness that we're going to provide.
Love it.
We're expecting, it's going to be huge. I mean, it's a free event. And
what year is this? Is this the first year of this?
This is the first ever Hot Rods and Helos. And, there's so many great car shows up and down the coast. And this is becoming the buzz and the interest and the enthusiasm.
This is the one you want to be at.
It really is, because you want to say you're at the first one.
Yep.
And we're already talking about the fact that the reach on this got so big, so fast, and the enthusiasm and support so overwhelming, that how can we make this bigger next year? How can we turn this maybe into a 2-day event or a 3-day event and a week-long event. And this is going to be the first of something that, because of the commitment between the POA and their entire group and the city of Huntington Beach, and with the crews, with our crews partnering with them, it's a perfect match, and we couldn't be more excited to have the opportunity to help support the 42 Foundation.
Well, I'm proud of you guys. Glad to know you as friends and see what you've done with your crews and getting into this. If you guys want to find out more, head to truckshowpodcast.com/events. That's our events tab, or hotrodsandhelos.com, and then also on Instagram, Hot Rods and Helos, and also on Facebook, same thing, Hot Rods and Helos. So I hope you guys will make it out there. Go find Jason and go find Patrick out there. I'm going to try and get out there Sunday also and hang out. Hopefully have a beer with you guys. But any other socials you guys want to push? I know, Patrick, you've got a lot going on. And
Icon Vehicle Dynamics is where I've landed, and I've had a great opportunity to work with the folks at Randy's Worldwide. Dynatrack, Yukon, Icon Vehicle Dynamics, IVD Suspension. It's a great organization to be a part of. I think with what's happening in the industry, to have these brands coming together along with, we've got working with Carly, working with Cognito, working with Yukon and Dynatrack and Icon. And there's some great things happening. I'm at Icon a few days a week, going into the office and filming with all of the great builds. And there's so many new products being rolled out that there's a lot of development, a lot of R&D going on right now, and it's a tremendous opportunity. But of course, our cruise, Cruise and PCH, is where you also will find
with
us. With the Q, where you will find information about Cruise and PCH events that we hold on the third Sunday of every month.
And then Jason, HP Hot Rods?
HP Hot Rods, and we specialize in more of your upgrades and repairs of your hot rods, suspension, brakes, steering, fabrication, a lot of electrical, fuel injection. So that's kind of what we focus on, not full builds. So, if you're looking for some work done, please visit HP Hot Rods.
67 F100. Yeah.
But yeah, and again, I got to obviously thank my partners, Patrick, Ken, Heck, and again, Sean, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for making the trek out. Oh wait, you guys live here. To the pod shed, but good to see you guys in here, and hopefully we'll get some more awareness out there for you guys in HBPOA, and look forward to seeing you this weekend.
Awesome.
Thanks for having us, Sean.
All right, well, that'll do it for this episode of the Truck Show Podcast. It was great to have Patrick and Jason here. And I hope if you're local to SoCal that you'll consider going down and checking out the Hot Rods and Helos show, or maybe join a future quarantine cruise, or Cruise and PCH as it is now. These guys do a great job. They've got a huge following. Some of the best cars from all around come there. It's definitely worth the effort to join up with them. So be sure to follow them on social at Cruise and PCH with a Q. And don't forget to follow us on social at Truck Show Podcast or at Sean P. Holman. And of course, you can leave us a message, 657-205-6105 on the 5-star hotline, or send me an email, truckshowpodcast@gmail.com. And that'll do it for now. And I will look forward to seeing you guys next time.
No!
Yes. The Truck Show Podcast is a production of Truck Famous LLC. This podcast was created by Sean Holman and Jay Tillis, hosted by Sean Holman, and uses production elements by DJ Omar Khan and Jay Tillis. If you like what you've heard, please open your Apple Podcast or Spotify app and leave us a 5-star review. And if you're a fan, there's no better way to support the show than by sharing it and patronizing our sponsors. Some vehicles may have been harmed during the making of this podcast.